Here in the countryside, little has changed in centuries. The villagers preserve their traditional way of life in which fear of the undead remains strong. Signs of their ancient customs are all around. The horses wear red tassels to protect them against the evil eye. Anthropologist Vivo Mihai has made a special study of Romanian folk myths.
Because in Romanian villagers divide things into bad or good, places even into bad or good, because there is a very, very strong belief in Romanian villages concerning magics and the power of magic. For example, it is forbidden to get into a crossroad at night, in the midnight, yes, because you can meet the devil, for example, you know.
We know that Bram Stoker had read several accounts by Victorian writers about Eastern Europe's fascination with the undead. They may well have provided him with the vampire themes that emerged in his novel. But were they more than hearsay? Massimo is keen to find out from Vivo whether the folk traditions of Romania might have been Stoker's inspiration.
You know, whenever someone dies, people are afraid that the dead one should not become a strigoi or a moroi.
A strigoi or moroi, what is it?
That one who was not properly integrated into the ancestors' world and returned to this world.
A living dead.
A sort of living dead, or by extension, let's say a vampire, if you want that.
Is this something that still goes on, still a current belief?
Yes, things like that still happen in Romania. For example, 1 year ago in a village in southern Romania, in Marotinu, such a thing happened. They decided that he became a strigoi because someone in the family got sick. And they went to the graveyard and dug him up. They decided he was a strigoi. And then they took the heart out of his chest and they burned it into a crossroad at midnight, and they drank the ashes into a glass of water, I mean the members of the family, and all of a sudden they said they felt better, and that was a sign that Peter Toma was a strigoi, and by performing this ritual everything was okay. But the problem was that the dead one's daughter, finding out what happened, went and told the police about all these things.
But it had nothing to do with vampires, right?
But it had nothing to do with what we actually know a vampire to be, and that image of a vampire, of Dracula, for example, so well known from Bram Stoker's novel. This is a different way of understanding things in a traditional society in Romania.
Do you think that such beliefs can still survive in this age?
They are still actual in some villages in Romania, and there are cases that can be found in the field by us, by anthropologists.
What about Vlad as being a moroi or a strigoi?
Of course not, certainly not. This is a story, something that was invented by Bram Stoker, but it has nothing to do with reality in Romania. Vlad was actually seen more like a local hero, someone who was brave and honest and helped the country a lot, and not at all a strigoi or a vampire, how it became by means of Bram Stoker's novel.
So Massimo, what did you find out?
Well, a fact is that for Romanians, Vlad Țepeș has nothing to do with vampires, nothing to do with this kind of things. But to the Romanians themselves, to some of them at least, the supernatural element is still very important. The strigoi, the moroi, the living dead can still be around after somebody dies, so they have to perform ritual, even going to dig up graves. I know the young generation feels this is very odd, as we do, but to the old folks this is part of that tradition. They need to do it to go on living.